Robert Ferguson.
All right, y'all, let's hear it for America's Fat Lost Coach, Robert Ferguson!
Hey, this is Robert Ferguson coming to you live. You know it. Come on. I am here to share some information with you that really touches on this whole thing called when weight loss goes bad, aka wrong. And I'm actually going to share with you how weight loss can end up where people don't make it. That means death. This is really serious. And so I'm going to take you back. But before we go there, I just want to say that my time with you is brought to you by our product called the Detox Drop. This is a product that's helping a lot of people. Strongly recommend you check it out, learn about it, and you learn how to eat. You learn how to eat in a way where you can jumpstart your weight loss, get your uric acid levels down, begin improving things like blood pressure and cholesterol. It's not just about losing weight because we know that weight loss is not indicative of better health. And that's one of the things I'm going to share with you today because some people go to lose weight and they don't make it. And you don't get to hear about it because they don't make it. And I'm not saying they don't make it to losing the weight. I'm saying they end up dying as a result. So pay close attention as I share with you today. I'm not going to keep you long. And I'm going to take some of you guys back and let me know if you remember this drug or supplement that used to be out there called Ephedra. Okay. Ephedra. How many people remember a supplement called Ephedra? I knew a lot about it at the time. I mean, we're talking about in the 90s. I actually manufactured a product. It was called Trim. I created a product called Trim. And it was the best product as far as people wanting and buying. People would drive miles to buy this product that I had manufactured called Trim. Some of you who have known me for years may remember this. This was way before the infomercials, way before being on TV and doing all these cool things, way before all that. I had created a supplement called Trim. Now, it had ephedrine in it, it had caffeine, it had the right stack of ingredients. It helped with performance. I used to take it every day. I'm telling you, I had people that would drive miles to get it. It helped you drop body fat. I believe it helped with concentration. It definitely helped with athletic performance. And I was selling it. It was like crack. Seriously. I mean, it felt like crack because people would say, I'll meet you anywhere. What restaurant are you in? And I sold so much of it that I kept it in the trunk of my car. So it looked like I was a dealer. And then you may be thinking, okay, well, where's that product now? Well, ephedra eventually got banned, and I'm going to share with you why. But the reason why I stopped selling this supplement that was doing really well, and I had created a protein powder. So this is in the 90s. And I stopped because I had met Jack LaLanne. And in my conversations with Jack LaLanne, my eyes and my ears were wide open. And he helped me realize what branding was. And I didn't want to brand myself as a supplement guy. I didn't want to be known as a guy that sells supplements. I wanted to be known as a guy who sold and promoted a lifestyle. I wanted to really be tapped into food as medicine. And I wanted to prescribe meal plans that would help people not only lose weight, but improve overall health. And so I was conflicted. And so at that time, I was like, you know what? I am not going to be a supplement guy. And even though I was making really good money selling the supplement, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I stopped. That's exactly how I got out of it. Well, as I'm going to share with you today, ephedra it was big. And it was big for a long time. But around the year 2000, I remember starting to hear reports, right? So the New England Journal of Medicine reported that a number of people had died of cardiac arrest after taking these supplements. And then by 2003, 3 years later, more than 40 deaths, more than 40, were linked to ephedra. And this included the Baltimore Orioles pitcher at the time, because a lot of athletes were taking this product. His name was Steve Bechler. And we knew there were side effects, right? We knew that you could have elevated blood pressure. We knew that you had a risk of heart attack. We knew that some people would get irregular, like rapid heartbeats. Psychosis was another big one. Some people reported having seizures and stroke. But guess what? People still took it. And even though it was in the news and people were losing their lives, people were still buying it. And when I quit selling it, people got mad. They took it personal. I mean, they took it personal. They took it personal. Hear what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, I'm sorry. And then, there were some people still trying to sell it, and they tried that for a while, but it got banned because it was causing harm. And one of the key parts of the Hippocratic Oath that all doctors take says to do no harm. Now, they were aware of these side effects. And when I say they, I'm talking about the industry, but it was mostly supplement, wasn't medical side, wasn't FDA approved. And so it stayed out there in the market for a long time. And it took a long time to pull it off the market. But when they started seeing people dropping and the interest in taking this supplement was growing, they had to do something. We were losing too many people. So now let's come to 2023. Did you know? So I'm asking the question. Did you know that right now, at this very moment, Ozempic, a very popular drug, Ozempic at this very moment is being made available to a bunch of scientists and researchers to study or investigate because it has a link to suicidal thoughts. So not only are people increasing their risk of heart attack by 300%, not only are we hearing how people are losing hair, like left and right, not only are we seeing people get droopy face, what they call Ozempic face, not only do we know that there's an increased risk of thyroid cancer, not only do we know that people are experiencing side effects, nausea, and feeling sick and diarrhea. It's bad. But people are still asking their doctors for it, and the doctors are still prescribing it. And now you have the major investigation that is taking place at this very moment, where they're looking at this drug and all the other drugs, right? You got Wegovy, Ozempic, Trulicity. Here's another reason why you want to, I strongly recommend everybody just get off of it. And if you need help getting off of it, reach out to me. I can coach you. I have other coaches. We can help you. This thing is killing people. And so I'm going to read a quote from someone named Jens Holz, a scientist who's instrumental in the development of GLP-1 drugs, right? So that's everything from Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro, okay, GLP-1 drugs. And when you do our detox drop, I share with you, we talk about GLP-1 because the way we eat breakfast is how you naturally increase and benefit from this hormone called GLP-1. That's part of the diet-free-life methodology. And if you aren't sure what I'm saying, let me say it a different way. There is a way to eat food to get the exact benefits that these drugs are promoting. So if the drug says you don't feel hungry, if the drug says it slows gastric emptying, meaning it takes food longer to digest, you don't have those same desires. In our detox drop, we show you how to eat food, scientifically proven, where studies have been done. The outcomes are clear. Now, they're not going to tell you that you can go eat food and get these same outcomes. They're pushing the drugs because people make a lot of money. Now, hear me on this. This quote that I'm sharing with you is from one of the scientists who's instrumental in the development of these drugs. In an interview with Wired in June, this is what this person says. Once you've been, okay, let me go back, quote, Once you've been on this, just talking about the drug, for a year or two, life is so miserable. Actually, let me change that. Now, I want to make sure I say it exactly. Life is so miserably boring that you can't stand it any longer, and you have to go back to your old life, unquote. Wow. Now, here's where the problem is. The company that produces this drug, Novo Nordisk, okay, 57% of the sale of drugs in 2022, the money that they're making is because of these drugs. So if 57% of your income was based on the sale and promotion of these drugs, you don't want to get rid of that drug. That's a lot of money. You're about to lose a lot of money. So they're going to keep pushing it, even though one of the key scientists who's instrumental in the development of this drug, he couldn't take it anymore. Couldn't take it anymore. So he put it out there. He says, when you've been on this for a while, man, life is just boring. So the thought of self-harm, right? Suicide, they see the link, it's happening. But if you go to the websites, as I'm sharing this live with you on July 11th, 2023, a Tuesday, at this very moment, it is not on their website as a side effect. Why is that? It's because they continue to keep discovering new side effects. If you have anyone that's a friend of yours, anyone that you love, anyone that you kind of care about, and you know they're taking this drug, tag them. I mean, I talk about it. You know what? I'm going to start talking about it at least once a week, because I see studies that come in, I would say probably 3-4 times a week, and they're all negative. And then there's propaganda out there where they have PR publicists who are getting articles made and they're putting it in the press to talk about all the positives, to try to like balance it, right? And then people who want the drug, people who believe it's going to be a solution for them, they're going to find those articles that support why it's okay for them to keep taking the drug. Whereas they'll never read what I just shared with you, because that contradicts why they're taking it. Like, people look for things that line up with their beliefs, right? So when beliefs and behavior are in sync, then you have someone who's going to engage and they're going to like run with it. But if you know that you're putting your life at risk, yep, there's still people who are going to go for it. Yep, it's temporary. Yep, most of those people are going to gain all their weight back. Yes, if they're over the age of 40, they're going to lose skeletal muscle, which means they're going to harm their overall health. There's so many negatives. But as I remember with the Ephedrine, people will do it. They will go out of their way to take this drug because they read or heard that it can help them lose weight. And what a lot of my clients and people in our Diet Free Life family know is that you literally can use food. You can learn to eat regular food and not only lose weight, but keep the weight off. A realistic way to improve your health is what we teach and what we preach. And if someone's never done it and they don't know it exists, they're going to go for the alternatives because I'm going to take a drug. I'm going to go with what I'm hearing in the media. I'm going to believe that. They don't know that you can eat, right? It's kind of like one of my clients, big shout out to Heather. This woman's 163 pounds in January of 2023. Come June, she's 121 pounds. She goes from 163 to 121. She's 49 years of age. She just learned how to eat. She's eating breakfast. She's eating lunch. She's eating dinner. She'll have occasional wine. She'll go on vacations. She's got kids. There's all kind of food around. Wow. And when people see her, you know what they think? Which drug are you on? Is it Ozempic? Are you doing Wegovy? And like many of our clients, they have to go out of their way to explain to people, no, this is natural. I'm doing this naturally. And people don't even want to believe that. It reminds me of one of my clients, Kathy, who lost 240 pounds. Kathy loses 240 pounds. She goes to the bank. I'll never forget this because it's a really cool story, and I won't share it all, but I'll share the meat of it. She goes to the bank, and this woman walks up to her and says, "Hey, how you doing?" They kind of knew each other, hadn't seen each other in a long time, and now Kathy's down 240 pounds. And the woman says, "So who's your doctor?" And Kathy goes like, what do you mean? You know, who did your operation? Because this woman assumed that Kathy lost that 240 pounds because of bariatric surgery. And Kathy goes, no, I don't have a doctor. I have a nutritionist. His name is Robert Ferguson. And the woman didn't want to believe it. And so when Kathy told me that story, I said, hey, here's $75. Invite that woman and take her to lunch or dinner. And I hope the 75 is enough. And she goes, well, why do you want me to do that? She was almost insulting. I said, no, just take her and just catch up. She will know that you didn't do bariatric surgery when you eat a fat burning meal in full proportion. Then you can explain to her, yeah, I eat like this all the time and I lost 240 pounds. You guys follow me on this? Like, you don't gotta say, you don't gotta like prove anything. We don't gotta convince anybody. Because if you have bariatric surgery, you can't eat that much food the way we teach people how to eat to lose weight. Now, if some of you have had bariatric surgery, we modify the methodology so it can meet with you. It can still fit and work for you. Food is medicine, people. Food as medicine. I will never, ever forget my experience with ephedra. And it's kind of like one of those things where a lot of the younger people today don't know about ephedra, right? So it was banned in 20 years ago. Wow, 20 years ago, it was banned. So if someone was 8 and now they're 28, they don't know that history is repeating itself. They don't know that. And then, like they say, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. All right, you guys, I got to go. So I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you. Do me a favor. If you get a chance, go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. And that helps us reach more people. So the more people I can get to go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe, then it helps us reach more people. Because I've noticed that we're starting to reach way more people. I mean, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. I mean, it's definitely working. And I want to say thank you for helping me get it out there. Because we got to get people off this drug. And before I go, let me just share one last thing. I went and saw this movie called The Sound of Freedom. Now, most people, when they first hear about the movie, they assume it's going to be so difficult to watch. Hey, hear me. It's rated PG. I took both my daughters. One's 15, one's 13. We all teared up on a few occasions. And we left really happy that we watched it. It was a great movie. Very well done. You don't see anything that's going to be disturbing, but you can feel it, man. This Jim guy, the actor who played Jesus in The Passion of Christ, wow. And these kids, they got these 2 kids who play a brother and sister. Talk about some kids who may win an Academy Award. I mean, the look in their face, oh, man, it was so moving. I strongly recommend, whatever that means, go watch this movie. It was awesome. And since that time, I think we're up to 10. We've sponsored 10 people to go see the movie. Talk about paying it forward. And the sad part about this is that I'm watching some of the media outlets almost trying to block it. And I know that at one point Fox had owned the movie before Disney bought it. I mean, this movie was made like 5 years ago and they held it. And so I believe, and I'm guessing on this part, that they had to raise funds, the production company, kind of get the movie back, and then beg, borrow, and do whatever they had to do to get it out there. And on July 4th, it was in half the theaters of some of the major movies, and it made more money. This is the power of word of mouth. Wow. And I would like to somehow create some type of opportunity around food as medicine, right? Nutrition, so that more people can learn about the Diet Free Life methodology. Because there's people who are like stuck on insulin, people who are they want to give up. They don't even know what to do. They don't know that our methodology exists. So how do we get it out there? By sharing it with other people. Like one of my clients, Jody. I mean, I think she's got like almost 20 people she's referred to the methodology, to this program. Like Heather, I think it's like 7 or 8 people she's referred. Like Gary Lynn, I think 6, 7, 8 people she's referred. They share because they care, and they don't keep it a secret. Anyway, I'm thankful for all those people. I'm thankful for you. So you guys have a good one. I'm Robert Ferguson. We'll be back tomorrow. We got some updates that we're going to share tomorrow, some really good updates. So catch me live. And if you don't want to miss anything, remember, just go to YouTube and make sure you hit subscribe, and then you won't miss anything. And you can always listen and watch at your convenience. All right. I'm Robert Ferguson. I share because I care. Let me see. Before I go, did anybody mention anything? Okay, no. Big shout out to Catherine, Debbie. Sometimes I can't see a person's name if they're in one of our groups. I think it's Dan G, my man. And then someone had made a comment that when I was dumb and 18, I used to take hydroxycut and ephedrine. Yep, hydroxycut. That was a popular one. They made a lot of money. I think that was from Dan. Anyway, you guys have a good one.